All right, let's jump into this amazing story about four friends, a super powerful king, and a dinner choice that, believe it or not, changed everything. This is a story all about courage, and it starts in a place you might not expect, the royal kitchen.
But hey, before we get into it, I've got a question for you. Have you ever had to make a choice to do the right thing, even when it felt kind of scary or maybe different from what everyone else was doing? Well, the heroes of our story know exactly what that feels like.
So our story starts with four really impressive friends, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Now, these guys weren't just anybody. They were actual princes from a place called Judah, and they were known for being super smart and strong. But their lives got totally turned upside down when they were taken far, far away from their home to this huge, amazing city called Babylon. You see, the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, was pretty much the most powerful ruler in the whole world, and he saw something really special in these four young men. He picked them out to be trained in his palace, which was kind of like getting a full scholarship to the best, most important school you could possibly imagine. So, one of the first things the king did was give them all new Babylonian names. This was his way of trying to make them forget about where they came from, forget their families, and, most importantly, forget their God. He was hoping they'd just start to fit in and become like everyone else in Babylon. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. The very first big test these four friends had to face, it wasn't some big battle or a tough exam. Nope. It all happened right there at the dinner table. So the king offers them the best food from his own royal kitchen. We're talking rich meats, fancy wine, the whole deal. But Daniel and his friends knew there were two huge problems with this. First, all that food had been offered up to the false idols of Babylon, and eating it would dishonor their god. And second, they just knew that all that heavy, rich food would actually make them feel sluggish and make their minds less sharp. This is the key moment. Daniel decided deep down in his heart that he was going to stick to what he knew was right. He made up his mind that no matter what happened, he was not going to eat the king's food. And you know what? His three friends stood right there with him.
But I mean, how do you say no thank you to the most powerful king on earth without getting into some serious trouble? Well, Daniel didn't throw a fit or argue. Instead, he came up with a really smart and really brave plan.
He went to the guy who was in charge of them, and he very politely proposed a little experiment. See, he wanted to prove that his way was actually better. This was so clever. He showed respect for the official, but he absolutely did not back down from what he believed in. Daniel's plan was so simple, it was brilliant. He basically said, look, just test us out for 10 days. Give us nothing but vegetables to eat and water to drink. At the end of the 10 days, just compare how we look with the other guys eating the king's fancy food. Then you can decide. Now the official, he was nervous. I mean, he was worried the king would be furious if Daniel and his friends ended up looking sick. But he agreed to the test. So for 10 days, that's what they ate. What do you think he saw when those 10 days were up? So how did this bold little experiment turn out? Well, let me tell you, this choice paid off in a massive way. And the result was the total opposite of what that nervous official was afraid of. The results were honestly incredible. After just 10 days, Daniel and his friends looked healthier, stronger, and they had more energy than every single one of the other trainees. Their simple diet didn't just work, it worked wonders. The official was so blown away that he let them keep eating their healthy food for the rest of their training. But wait, the story doesn't even end there. Because they chose to honor God and to take care of the bodies he gave them, God gave them some unbelievable gifts that went way beyond just looking healthy. So, after 3 full years of training, it was time for the final exam with the king himself. And what King Nebuchadnezzar discovered was just mind-blowing. He found that Daniel and his friends weren't just a little bit smarter. They were 10 times wiser than all of the top magicians and astrologers in his entire kingdom. You see, God had blessed their faithfulness. They had sharper minds, they could understand really difficult subjects, they spoke with incredible wisdom, and God even gave Daniel this special ability to understand visions and dreams. They became the most trusted advisors in the whole kingdom. So, what's the big takeaway from this incredible story? I mean, why does a choice made thousands of years ago still matter for us today? Well, this story teaches us something really powerful,
that even a choice that seems small, like what you decide to eat, can be a huge act of courage. It's a chance to honor what you believe in and to take care of the amazing body and mind you've been given. And, just like Daniel, you can be an incredible example to others just by choosing what's right, quietly and bravely.
So think about it. What's one small, brave, or healthy choice you can make today? Maybe it's choosing an apple instead of chips. Or maybe it's standing up for a friend. Or just deciding to do the right thing even when nobody's watching. Because as Daniel's story shows us, those small choices can lead to the biggest and the best results of all.